For more, let's bring in our White House correspondent, Karen Travers. Karen, the president is demanding unconstitutional surrender and unconditional surrender and the selection of great and acceptable leaders. That's the quote. I took that to James as well. Has the White House given any indication what the president views as great and acceptable?
We have not heard from the White House yet. We're expecting to in a couple of moments. Kira from Caroline Leavitt, the press secretary, who's likely to take questions just in a few moments here at the White House. But the president has done a couple of interviews where he's expanded upon that, about what would be acceptable, and saying, you know, as James mentioned, the son of the dead Ayatollah, the president had said he is unacceptable and referred to him as a lightweight. But the president talked to our John Carl yesterday and said that whoever is put in as the next leader of Iran has to be approved by us. That was a quote from the president. He said that, you know, we don't want some president in 10 years to get stuck with this problem and not know what to do with it. So he's essentially saying this has to be addressed now, that has to have U.S. input to not have a future hardliner that the United States would then have to address. But Kira, who that would be, not clear. And the president has also said, though, this is up to the Iranian people to decide their future and what happens next.
Even though he says he wants to be a part of it. Karen, you know, this comes as Americans are still struggling to evacuate from the region. New numbers from the State Department show it's aware of 24,000 Americans now who've returned to the U.S. safely. But here's some of what we've heard from those who say they were able to find a way home, but without the help of the administration.
The unpredictability of this president, that was my most nervous part of this whole trip.
To try to book a taxi from Israel to the Jordan border while there's literally a bomb that happened like 30 minutes prior to that, and you just kind of have to hope that you don't get hit on the way there. State Department not very helpful at all. Every alert that they gave and all advice that they gave was like a day at least too late.
There's no help. So you're on your own to get your own travel plans. And that was the most stressful thing.
So what's the latest on the charter flights and why Americans that we just heard from are still having issues?
Yeah, still having issues because the air travel is still so severely restricted, and it's just difficult to find the flights to get out. Now, the State Department has offered that assistance. They say that 24,000 Americans have safely returned to the United States from the region since Saturday, and that there have been 2 charter flights that have taken off and landed, bringing Americans back home. Notably, the State Department says that they're trying to proactively reach out to Americans to offer help, but they're actually getting declining help. They're being told they don't need it from about 30 to 40% of the people that they're getting in touch with. Now, whether that's because people have already made their own arrangements or, like some of those people there are saying, it's just too complicated, that process, it's not clear. But there is a process in place, according to the State Department. They're offering these flights, but there have been empty seats, according to a senior official there, on some of these charters at this point.